Smile. Wait for it. Oh, you all look so cute. Well, I bet you do. When I get this processed, when I actually finally go into the dark room, I will have a look and I bet you'll all look freaking adorable. So, yeah. I'm here today to finally do a book review on Fangirl by Rowell. And this is the first Rowell book I've read. I have bought recently Eleanor and Park. It was bought to me by a friend called Tasha, and we bought it for each other because we're cute. And I'm very excited to read it, and I'll probably be reading it in the next couple of weeks. But I read this as soon as it came out in the UK, and it came out the same day that Jill Mansell's book came out, the new one. I can't remember the date, but I read it, I bought it that day, and I read it straight after I read The Unpredictable Consequences of Love. So yeah, I really love this book. I felt such a connection to Kat. As I said, as you probably all know if you watch my previous videos, I have moved to uni this year as of September, and I feel like my life could have gone one of two ways. It could have gone the way Kat's first couple of terms did, or it could have gone the way it did. And I am extremely shy. I was really shy, and I was like, I'm never going to go out. I went out every night for it in the end because I made myself, I pushed myself to do it. I pushed myself to go and be sociable and make friends, and in the end I have a massive group of friends who I love and I adore them, because before I went to uni I have my really close friends. I have a few friends who I'm still really close to. I have a friend that lives really far away, but I've never had like a massive group of really close friends. I feel like I could call any of them and talk to them, and now I've got that. And I think going to university you're more grown up and you meet these people who are really, well, they're similar to you, because I'm doing an art degree and it's all people that are doing similar stuff to me, and it really hit home because I was terrified. I was so scared, and she was too. And I just want to say I'm really thankful for the friends I've made at university. I love you all. Anyway, moving on. This book reminded me, well, it's being promoted everybody, of Harry Potter, because it's Simon Snow and Simon Snow fan fiction, and it reminded me of the fanatics who went around Harry Potter. I grew up personally with the films as opposed to the books, because the first book came out in 1995, I want to say 1997, with Harry Potter, and the last book came out in 2007, and in 2007 I was in the last book came out in the summer before I started my second year of secondary school, so year 8. So I was just behind, and I actually read, the last book came out when we were in holiday in Scarborough. My mum bought it and didn't move. She was like this. Harry? I've never seen anybody, and it was that, and I went home, and we saw The Order of the Phoenix that week as well, because it just came out in the summer. I went home and I devoured the first 3 books in a week, and half the 4th one, and I finished them, and I started again, and then I finished them, and I loved them so much. Like those midnight, Harry Potter. Some of my fondest childhood memories I feel happened at Hogwarts, which sounds really weird saying it like that, but I've been a massive believer that when life gets really hard I can disappear into a book. Like, I used to be majorly bullied on my school bus, and I used to take books with me, and I used to sit with my headphones in with an iPod. I used to sneak out my house and read because I was scared, and people then didn't bother me. I'm either backing into a corner, but I get these bouts of loudness which I feel, you know, people are like, oh, you know, shush, and I'm like, I'm trying really hard to make you like me. Why can't you see this? Like me, please. But yeah, the writing is adorable. It's just so sweet, and it's so funny, and it's almost like it's a majorly warm hug. And there's points when I wanted to punch Kat, and I'm like, just go make friends with them. You know, go make friends. You know, Levi, I'm sorry, but they're nice people. And then turns to Nick, and he's just a douche. We all know them. We all have those horrible people that will use your work, or try to. And he was, oh no! and she makes friends with him, and I'm like, how can you not see what's going on here? I picked up on it. How blind are you? But and you have Nick, and then you have Levi, who is so adorable. And if that was how my first kiss had happened, while I'm reading some really adorable lanky guy on a bed, you would spend the rest of your life with him in his little tower room. But it was so... and he works in Starbucks, and I really love Starbucks. I just... He goes to me, read to me, sweetheart, and she reads some of the fan fiction she's written to him, and they have this kiss, which I think she says tasted like coffee and chocolate and sleep, and it's just feels reading this book. And if you're reading a book called Fangirl, you should know about feels. I'm sorry. And her sister, Ren. I don't have a sister. I'm an only child. Lonely child? Only child. Lonely. I'm a lonely only child. So I didn't really, you know, feel like anything like that. But I have a lot of friends like that. Like I used to. Who you felt sort of, for a certain point, you were doing all the work. Lovely book. It's almost like, I can't describe it. It's like, imagine seeing your best friend and giving them a massive hug and everything feels a bit better, and that's what this book feels like. It feels like it feels like if I put this on my head, that everything's gonna be a bit better for my life. I'm gonna leave this here for a bit. If you haven't read this and you have obsessed over books, you know what the words canon and OTP and I ship them so hard. If you ever said any of those things online, or if it started to sneak into your everyday vocabulary like it is to me, you need to read this book. I had so much more to say that wasn't just me flailing about it. 5 out of 5 stars. And the reason on Goodreads, and the reason I did this is because I felt a massive connection to this book, and I've said that a few times, but the reason I did that is because I think every girl, you know, pre-heading to uni, if you're in sixth form, any girl who fears people in life, I think should read this, because there's nothing to fear, you know. I've never been so scared when I started university. I remember walking into this room with my mum, and she left, and I remember coming in and crying, and there was this little knock at my door, and my flatmate Chrissy came in and gave me a hug. You're all in the same boat. So, life lesson of the day: do the one thing that scares you, because you may just not regret it. Unless it's like swimming with crocodiles, and don't do that. I'm all for feeling the same way as girls do when they want to read books, because that life is much more romantic. I'd rather snuggle up in bed with Levi in book form than sometimes leave my room. Sorry. There's only one part of this book that bugged me a little bit, and it wasn't so much the writing as the character, and she really bugged me, and I really wanted to take her up and just knock her out of court, because she went to a party, Levi's party. He invited her by text and she didn't reply. She trotted with Regan, I'm not sure how you say it. I'm English, I'm sorry, I apologise, I'm shit at saying names. He trotted off to this party where she saw Levi in the kitchen kissing another girl, and yes, it's really shit, and I'd be so upset if a guy I had my first kiss with, if he invited me out to a party and he could have assumed you were sort of dating, had a thing going on, and you turned up at his house and he was kissing some other girl. The next day I'd think about it, and I'd probably chat with my friend, someone. Alcohol's involved. I think actually in this book it's underage drinking. No. In England it is legal for me to drink. I am under 21, but it is legal. If you don't live in England, don't drink. Which doesn't make any sense to me because I don't understand. I think the international drinking rate should be the same, but I think it should be the lowest. Because I don't want to stop drinking. Not that I'm a problem, you know. But and she's like, oh. And off she goes with, and Regan's like, fuck's sake, Levi. You know. But also, he's been courting her, for want of a better word, for months, and she hasn't shown any interest until that night. Granted, he kissed her, but as I said, there's probably alcohol involved. It was just I'm sure it was just a kiss. It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss! No? Right, back to this. So, I feel so sorry for this poor guy, because he's trying. He is trying so hard. And he slips up once and she sees, and it's like, oh, no, poor Poppet. I suggest, if you haven't already read it, which I'm sure most of the BookTube people have, and Tumblr people, if that's where you're finding me, I suggest you do read it because it's beautiful. It's so well written. I just love it. Go back. Go, 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 go!